With us, the global winner of World Class, Oрландо Марзо. It's an honor for me. The first question will be about your feelings about the Russian World Class final. How you find it? You like it?
Absolutely, it's been incredible because I've never been to Moscow and I've never been to Russia before, and I was very looking forward to come and meet you guys and see you guys. And it's very rewarding, the amount of creativity, thoughts, and passion the guys have delivered in the last couple of days. And everyone has been really, really genuinely nice, which I really appreciated that. And I think it's going to drive the industry to really be better rather than just competitive.
Yeah, and how you find it in the Russian industry on a good level or on a perfect level?
Absolutely. I think I always, particularly when I was in London in the late 2000s, I heard a lot about the Russian sort of hospitality side of it, but I never got to experience it. And it's making some noise back, let's say, into the industry, which is really, really impressive because we need those balance between those great cities that are London, New York, Melbourne perhaps, and Singapore, but we also need other places to make hospitality better and make better drinks and better atmosphere every day.
When you was young, you moved from Italy to London, and after you decided to go to Melbourne, just another world. How you make this decision? Why you make this decision?
I'm from a very small village in the southeast of Italy, only 2,000 people. Yeah, and I just was driven by passion, literally just driven by wanting to learn more. And that's not necessarily just about the bar industry. I wanted to meet new people. I wanted to travel. Before I left for London, the only place I visited back then was Switzerland. So I had the pleasure to, when I was young, to visit all around Italy, but I never been outside apart from being to Switzerland. And then once I had a holiday in Spain and really liked it. And then I was working in a bar in that point, and I started to understand that London was the place to be if you want to measure yourself with great hospitality and great bars, because we all know the London scene is really, it's got heritage of cocktail making and hospitality in general between hotels and bars. So I decided to go to London because it's not that far, and it's a very cosmopolitan city, so it gave me the opportunity to talk to a lot of people from different countries without exploring them all, and to improve my English. And then when I was working in London, I had the pleasure to, I was there for 4 years.
Yes.
I had the pleasure to work at Milk and Honey, very rewarded bar. And I decided to go beyond that, wanted to learn again more. And back then I didn't travel outside of Europe, so I wanted to have an outside of Europe experience. And I was influenced by a couple of friends of mine that were Australians, they still are Australians. And they were telling me how the food and beverage industry is really booming, and being new countries and having the possibility to young people to express how incredible it was. And then I decided to go to Australia with the mind of spending a year and then going back and collecting information probably between Singapore, Asia, maybe States, and then go back to Europe at some point. But then I realized that Dave was actually having just an amazing masterclass downstairs, talking about working in one place, representing one place. I could not agree more. They've done so well. Just stay in one place and embrace everything from it and represent it. It's very easy to travel 6 months and then a year and then live and go. But then you understand why do you do certain things and what you want to achieve and where do you want to go. So I decided to stay in Melbourne. I'm there for the last 5.5 years. And then things after things, they pay back. And then things happen and then you ended up just staying.
I heard a lot of good things about the cocktail culture in Melbourne itself. And can you tell us more about Melbourne and cocktail bars?
Of course. Melbourne, it's a great city. It's cooler in each sense. is a little bit like 4 or 5 degrees, a little bit cooler than Sydney, and maybe that brings a little bit more like of a cool vibe. So it's very artistic. It's very like film photography, sort of like driven art. There is a lot of sports. So it's a great city, young and driven by sort of a lot of passions, a lot of cultures as well. The food and beverage industry, it's probably the pinnacle of everything that's happening. Between the lifestyle of being Australian and the weather as well, people enjoy themselves every night. So this gets the opportunity for us that we work in hospitality to have a much bigger impact in what we do. There are so many bars they're opening. There are great people. They have either traveled to Europe or been to Europe, or we just happen to have a lot of great talents in Melbourne and in Australia in general. There is a lot of bartenders. They either travel to Melbourne because they want to work there. They worked in amazing bars in the States and in London, or they are Australians, and Australians do travel a lot, and they've been to Europe, and then now they're bringing all of this knowledge back. But Australia has the possibility that as a bartender you can dream to open a bar, which might be a little bit more difficult and tricky in a big city like London, like New York. So it's very colorful in the food and beverage industry.
Which drink can represent the Melbourne?
Very good question. Fortunately, Melbourne is the coffee capital of the world. We have actually more coffee, more cafes per capita in any other city in the world.
The highest quality of the coffee.
Absolutely. So we are very geeky. We know how to drink it. We know how we want it. We know everything about coffee. And I couldn't be prouder than that because I'm Italian. And so the cocktail has to be the espresso martini. Everyone drinks it. And there are that sort of bartenders that go like, oh my gosh, I know the espresso martini. But I think as a bartender, we do have a task. If we know that some people like certain things, we can't just turn and avoid them. We just need to understand what they like and how to make it better. So I don't think there's anything wrong of being proud of the espresso martini. In fact, I also used to work at Dick Brussels Bar in London, the player. So the guy who invented it. So it's all connected.
Yeah, it's really connected. About the global world class, what is hardest part in world class for you personally?
Oh, I'm gonna ruin the surprises for the guys downstairs. The hardest part for me are 2 things. A was the preparation. The preparation because I went through almost like a philosophical moment. Then I started not just to think about the bar. I was like, if this is getting me, it's getting really intense. What about when a politician goes through a crisis, or when an athlete needs to perform for his best race, for the most important task, or when, from Formula One to a boxer, I start to watch documentary. And as Bolt, when he trains, he doesn't train to beat other people. He just trains to understand him and extract the best of him, to be as fast as he can. And then if he happens to be the fastest person in the track, then he also wins. So for me, it was really just like challenging the preparation, be so prepared. Then the performance was not easy, but I was very prepared for it. I was confident of doing it because I had no thoughts that I was not prepared for. Does it make sense?
Yes.
It's all a cycle,
totally understand. Like
you're right. So stronger, then you just understand what's going on around. So you can understand other things. You don't just focus on the challenge. You understand to talk to people. You understand their judges are there to get to know you, and so you. So all of these things are really beautiful.
It's a really cool mindset because you're not focused, you're not close,
Absolutely.
you're really open.
It's like I always compare to going on a bike, right?
Yep.
Particularly a motorbike. Car is different, but if you go on a motorbike and you enjoy the drive, if you go very fast, there is actually a technical element which I can't remember, but the streets around you narrows down. The only thing you see is the little piece above you, because your vision needs to be further. If you go slower, your vision opens up. You might actually have the chance to turn left and right to understand all of the things that
you
happen.
control more situation.
So people often ask me, what was the strongest thing that you had? I think that's really it. You know, when it was a speed challenge, I didn't just focus on being fast. I focused on making people laugh. I focused on being clean. I focused on being organized. And if it was organized, it was nice to see. You know, so did the people having a really good time? Was I looking good? You know, all of those sort of things that if you don't do it enough, you don't realize what it takes.
Okay, the first thing is preparation.
And the second thing you want to know, the second biggest challenge, when I was ready, and on the day I packed everything and ready to go, I had a few bumps on my travel. And I also traveled from Australia with ice, because I had a challenge called Flavor of a Nation, and I wanted to bring the facts back that one of the cocktails was to homage the people that traveled for the gold rush in Australia. So I had the golden nuggets into an ice block. And long story short, I arrived in Berlin, and the flight was delayed, and my bags weren't there. And I was preparing for the global. And it's fine, every competition happens, someone loses the bag, someone breaks the glass, it's gonna arrive. My bag didn't arrive until 3 a.m. the morning after, and I needed to prepare. So, you know, meeting all of the competitors, going out for dinners, going for the first interaction, and everyone's like, oh, nice to meet you, how are you feeling? And yeah, I feel good. So I also learned that it's a weird sensation, because I don't even know if I can do that again, but I was good, that everything I had in mind was good, the drinks were good, that even if something went wrong, I could adjust it.
For you personally, to be a global winner of the World Class?
It's really a dream coming true. You know, it's very rewarding for the hard work, the dedication, the passion that we have, and all of a sudden, you'd be like, okay, I done the challenge and I won, okay. But then the day after, I start to realize now what? People start to see you with a different angle. You know, no more you go around and be like, okay, cool, I did a good challenge, but what's your message? So, what I want to take from this experience I had is to make the industry better if I can. Not just influence people that work in the industry, but people maybe that they care about our industry. They're not necessarily they work in our industry. They drink and eat every day. So educate people. They want to have a drink at home. Also, they are guests. They come to the bar. They can have a better experience going around and having a great time with people from all around the world, and perhaps inspire the new young generation of bartenders too.
A great mission to make it something for industry, and
that's right.
And what do you prefer more, to judging or competing?
It's I'm so glad that I'm in this position now, and not just because of the winning, but also because I get to see the other part, and it is very magical.
Yes.
It is really enjoyable as a judge, as a person that sits in front of you, that gets the opportunity to meet you and understand what do you think about certain things in the industry, and what creativity mind did you have about this challenge. We can't just wait for you to do very well. It's very relaxed. We are there to see the best people. We are there to see the people who care, the people who are very charismatic, very enthusiastic, passionate, and hospitality driven. So I enjoy both. I've done the competing, so I think now I really enjoy going around, meet new bartenders, and providing feedback. Providing feedback is very important, and it's not just like that was really tough, everyone done great, but there is one winner. Because if you if you always pick, but you don't see it, you know.
Yes.
You need to leave something behind. Sometimes can be a little bit bitter to swallow, but otherwise you don't learn.
Yeah.
So if you want to make the industry better, you gotta take these suggestions that people tell you all around. And I'm glad that I have the opportunity to do so, because when I have done in the past, people did not shy to tell me what could have be adjusted in what I was doing.
It's cool. Some personal question is like, can you describe yourself in few words?
Oh, I hate that. You should do that.
Me too.
I am a very passionate, charismatic, and energetic person.
Your favorite book?
My favorite?
Favorite book?
My favorite book?
Yeah, not bartender book, whatever.
My favorite book, recently I am reading, and I read already, Start With Why. And it's a book that explains why you should do certain things and not only what you should do. And it takes a lot of analogies about how people react in the world, in different industry, not just in the food and beverage industry, but also car industry or technology industry. And the people, they have the vision and the passion to do, to understand why they're doing certain things and not what they do, they're very successful. And I like those books because I find a lot of allergy. Yeah, exactly. Because if you don't never question any time why you're doing it,
Yes.
then you're really good at it.
In our time, I think it's more important to know the questions, not the answers. It's like,
Yeah.
And
It's
now,
a book by Simon Sinek, by the way.
the quick questions. Job or family?
Wow. Balance.
Vodka or gin?
Gin.
Coffee or tea?
I enjoy a lot of flavor in tea, but I drink a lot of coffee.
New or classic?
New. New with class.
Hospitality or amazing drink?
Hospitality.
Hospitality wing. Thank you. With us was the Orlando Marzo. Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.